The first dev server of the update groundbreaking just hit. And we already got quite some new vehicles, and in today's video we are going to go over all the new ground vehicles. Let's start with the top dog for now. That is the 2S25M, aka a modernized version of the Sprut SD. Not only does it get night vision and thermal devices for commander and for gunner, you also get a better round, pushing that light tank at the BR of 10.0 for now. With its 7.1 second real time, it will be definitely a formidable enemy. However, because it lacks the survivability of a striker, it will most likely still be a little bit worse BR for BR compared to the striker. Next up we have the VCC AD30, aka the 30mm darter with the hit fist turret. There, nothing really changed except for it getting more penetration on its APFSDS round, giving it around 101mm of penetration. You also should get thermals, which right now are not in the game. However, now you can also decide between the TOW2A or the TOW2B, and that's about it. At a BR of 10.0, you do have to ask yourself if it is really worth the upgrade compared to the very good 9.3 Dardo. Now we can move over to the Chinese tech tree, where we at 9.3 at the moment can find the ZLT11 with its improved 105mm gun, a DM33 equivalent with 408mm of base penetration. It also gets an AGVT round against some pesky helicopters, as well as a gun-launched tandem-charged ADGM. With night vision devices and decent mobility, this tank will be definitely fine, and in theory is more capable than something like the Radkampfwagen 90. For Sweden, we get at 8.3 the STRF 1940B. It has the 40mm Bofors gun, giving it a decent APFSDS penetration of 143, laser rangefinder, night vision devices, and at the moment fully stabilized, which most likely will change. What it lacks though is obviously secondary armament like an ATGM launcher and HEVT rounds, which would help it kill planes or even jets. Nevertheless, a pretty decent vehicle overall for its 8.3 setup. Let's move over to France, which gets the EBR 1951. The EBR chassis fitted with the FL11 turret. So meaning if you already like the AMX 13 FL11, you now get at a higher BR the same turret with better mobility. If the upgrade is really worth it, you have to ask for yourself, because at 4.3 you can get uptick all the way to 5.3, where your 75mm gun will definitely start to have loads of troubles penetrating enemies from the front and maybe even from an angled side. Currently at 9.0, after the Jagdpanzer K A2, we get the Weasel A4, which is the tow carrier on the Weasel chassis, and this one is really strong as well. It gets the TOW2As, the TOW2Bs and the TOW2s, with the TOW2As being the tandem charged one and the TOW2B still being the top attack one. With amazing thermals, great gun depression and amazing mobility, this will be a really formidable enemy, and a bonus point, your gunner is not exposed. At 7.0 in the SPAAG branch, right now we have the Weasel A4, which has the Rheinmetall gun and capabilities of getting the DM63. It is not stabilized, has thermal sights, which is great for that BR, and this thing definitely will not be used solely for anti-aircraft duty. Trust me, that thing will be massively spammed as a IFV, especially with the fact that it has the scout capability. And at 9.0 we have the Ozelot, which is on the Weasel 2 chassis, a Stinger mounted AA gun. That sounds pretty strong at 9.0, as you have fire and forget anti-aircraft missiles, but please don't forget the Stingers in general are not that nice. They don't have a proxy for use really. They are relying on a direct hit, and as soon as the enemy starts to maneuver quite a bit, this might become rather hard to do. However, I see the Ocelot being as an equivalent to the American Sergeant York, which at the moment is at 8.7. Those Stinger Ks are not as strong as the Type 93's missiles, so it should be pretty decent at 9.0, maybe even 9.3 in the final release. And lastly, for the British tech tree, we have the Ystervark, being a South African SPAHE. As you can see, it is very weird looking, very awkward feeling, but hey, that's how it is. It doesn't have any protection, obviously. Both crew members are exposed, which are manning the gun. Nevertheless, it should be definitely a really decent glass cannon against aircrafts, because the 20mm gun has a really high shell, really high rate of fire, meaning you can saturate the air for the enemy aircraft, and it can also be used in certain situations against other tanks as well, with its 57mm of penetration on its HVAP rounds. And that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you around in another video. Cheers.